the shadows in the dark, they will lead the way to the hidden pathways of the heart. In that secret place, that is where I find my start.
Welcome to the Shadow and the Light podcast with internationally renowned meditation teacher, davidji.
And heart healer and psychotherapist, Elizabeth Winkler, as we guide you through our unique fusion of ancient wisdom and modern psychology.
Get ready to awaken your true essence, heal your wounds, and transform your shadow into
It's here to remove all our fears and to bring new light. The light is time that will go to the deep to take us to new heights. The shadow and the light.
Hi, davidji.
Oh, hello there, Elizabeth. I think I have the perfect one. I have the perfect theme for this podcast today. You've mentioned it many times over the several years of the Shadow and the Light podcast. Longing. Longing. Look, her eyes just lit up. She nodded her head. I knew it. Longing to feel and longing to be held and longing in all its various constructs and longing to be understood. So I am longing, Elizabeth. I just sprung this on you, but I know it's deep inside. So maybe you can tell us, what does longing mean to you?
Well, it can actually bring tears to my eyes because there's so many different ways in which it's lived within my own life. And we've talked about this before. I think the longing that sticks out initially is the longing for someone who's no longer here. And the pain and absolute distress and agony that creates in our lives. For myself, that longing lasted for over 2 decades after my mother died. And I've talked about it on I think it was on Sacred Contracts, I talked about that. And I have an image that always sticks out of me just lying in my bed, longing for my mother to be still here when I hadn't been able to process fully that, this is what happened. Obviously, I knew that's what happened, but there was this strong longing. And what I now can see that I couldn't see then is that the longing out is actually a call to go within. The longing is something that's your heart is calling you back. It's like, I say fear is a friend existing as resistance. So to me, the longing, if anyone's in touch with a longing of any kind, and it can also come in another form. It could be, I'm longing for my friend or my partner, or I'm longing for that connection. It could be very positive, right? It doesn't have to be longing like through despair and grief. It can be shadowy. It can be light. But whatever these longings are, let's not make them good or bad. Allow yourself to pause in this moment with whatever longing you may have. And bring your awareness into the center of your chest. And allow yourself to just breathe with that. Because I think what we do is we feel this longing and we look out. We distract ourselves outwardly into the outward self and the outward world. And really not until we can come back inside and allow that hand that is reaching up from your heart to be taken by you, by your awareness. So by simply closing your eyes, taking an elevator from your head into your heart, and in a sense, you are taking the hand of longing. And so maybe even place your hands on your heart as if you were embracing that longing and allowing it to be held. And you could simply say, I'm welcoming this energy and allowing kindness. Because when we are in a state of longing, we are feeling weak, often. Welcome energy. allow kindness to be present here. And when we can do that, we come into connection with our inner being, our inner world. And so then as we do that, as we breathe with that, allowing whatever process will happen within your own self. I don't know what that will be for you, but the longing is asking something of you first. But it's so painful that we often don't know how to pause with our heart, to be with our challenge, our tension, our activation. So I think you need to start there.
Wow. Wow. It's so intense. What sparked this in me was I was having a conversation a few days ago with someone, and we were talking about what's your earliest memory? And they were like, oh, it was when I was in the womb. And I was like, I have no memories of in the womb. But I can tell you this. My first memory post-womb was longing, because I had just spent 9 months in that place with my favorite soundtrack, My Mother's Heart, right? 9 months. And then suddenly pulled out of that. It was safe. It was dark. It was comfortable. Every need I ever had was taken care of. And then yanked out into the light, the umbilical cord cut. Now I'm totally helpless, needing other people, hearing sound through air for the first time. That's the first time that we were individuated, separated. And I think that first emotion was an emotion of instantly in withdrawal, the longing, trying to understand the thing that happened. It's embedded, I think, in humankind, everybody's DNA, to get back to the womb, get back to that safe space where everything is taken care of. And we have that drumbeat of our mother's heart. So really, it's returning to the memory of our wholeness. But here we are, obviously, can't go back. Once you step outside, can't go back.
Can't ever go back. Can I just say something about that?
Please.
This is something I hear a lot in sessions. People will say to me in a session, I want to go back to whatever, an earlier version of myself. Like, I want to go back. And I understand the sentiment. At the same time, no matter what, we can never go back to anything. I can't go back to what I was yesterday simply because I went to bed and how much sleep I got and what I ate and what I drank and the people I'm hanging out with, all of these things. The physics of the world is influencing who I am and how I show up, you know? And so you can't go back ever. We're rivers of energy, always changing. And so people are trying to hold on to personalities, to people, to situations, to the way things were, to the way their relationships were, and longing for it to be how it was. I mean, you see this in relationships, like, why can't it be how it was before? Well, it isn't. So let's accept that. And then you can use that thing that you're longing for. What is the energy of it? What's the value of it? What is the meaning of it? What is it that I liked about it or that I desire? Okay, maybe it's love, connection. So how can I be a conduit of that in this moment? How can I create from that so that I am a conscious creator of my world? You know, so use what you're longing for as a teaching. What is it in that longing that you're desiring? You know, so it's not like, okay, you can't have a longing, like throw it away. No, there's something there that's teaching you, that's calling you. It could be a calling. Your longing could be calling you to something that you are meant to embody and create from, potentially. Depends on what it is. What's a longing you have had that sticks out in your life?
Well, I think, honestly, going back to this moment where we all came out of the womb, I think it's universal. I think it's man and womankind. I think this is a humankind issue. Everyone, obviously, we all were in different wombs, and we've been in different wombs for thousands and tens of thousands of years. However, in that environment, everything was perfect. And so I think everyone, when they were born, it doesn't matter how you were born, whether you got birthed into water, whether you got pulled out, whether you were sideways or upside down or whatever. Everyone's got their story of it was a horrible birth or it was a difficult birth or something along those lines. But I think each of us, every human puts their feet down on the world outside of the womb, and then suddenly is longing, craving, like everything was the same for 9 months. And then suddenly it's like, whoa, it's all different. So I think most people's natural response to that would be, let me go back. And so I think embedded inside of us, all people, is this just whisper, I want to go back. Because it was like probably our first thought. Probably our first thought was like, don't take me out of there. And the second thought was, I want to go back. We couldn't articulate it. We didn't have the words for it. We couldn't even speak language. But we had those emotions. No. And then like, there.
Yeah. And so longing can be for the past, as you're saying here. And as I was explaining earlier, but it also can be for the future, right? So longing for that relationship, longing for that whatever.
I would say all of those things that are future based in the longing realm were actually
connected.
Going back to
absolutely.
If I can just go back to that thing, then I'll have that soothing relationship. I'll be comforted. When I have a pain, someone will be there for me. When I'm hungry, I'll be fed. Think about that. We were in the womb. When you were hungry, you got fed. You just got taken care of. And yes, you were subject to all the hormones and chemicals of your mother, whatever she was going through during that period of time. But we were all getting taken care of in every single way. We pooped, somebody took it away, or something took it away. Who even knows what that was? But we were like fully self-sufficient within the bubble of our mother's protection. So I think even future longings are trying to get back to that. You say it all the time, quoting Ram Dass, we're all walking each other home. I believe that we're all sort of like hanging out in here on a quest or on a journey to get back to the womb. The 4 A's, it's attention, affection, appreciation, and acceptance. I want to be held by something bigger than me. I want to be acknowledged. I want to be taken care of in a kind way. So I would think that pretty much everything is a longing. But we can translate these very poorly into, I'm not getting the respect I want. Perhaps in the womb we were being taken care of and we were being respected, and suddenly in this life, people aren't unconditionally loving you. I think that's it. It's unconditional love, which we had in the womb. And since that moment we came out of it, we're longing to get back to it or to experience it with somebody else or in another environment. That's why people do the geographic cure. I'm going to travel 3,000 miles because these people won't be there. And then you land where, Confucius, wherever you go, there you are. And so we keep trying to quest to find the womb, and we can't ever find the womb. We think we're being future paced. We think I'm longing for something in the future, but it's actually I'm longing for something in the past. My fractal, my earliest past that I could even have a flicker of. So I don't remember being in the womb. I think the longings that we all have are the things that we're attached to. At a fairly early age, I forgot the sound of my mother's voice. I can make it up in my head. Who knows if it's accurate or not, but I can make it up in my head. So what's a longing of mine is to hear my mother's voice. That's a longing that I have on a much more banal and stupid level. I long for certain kinds of food. Such a fan of certain kinds of food. I'm just longing for them because, like Chinese food, I live in San Diego. There's not Chinese food in San Diego. There's Chinese food in New York. There's Chinese food in Chinatown. There's Chinese food in San Francisco. There's Chinese food, authentic. I'm longing for it. Am I hopping on a plane and going? No, but the next time I go to one of those cities, I will be eating Chinese food. But then I'll return home. And I will still have that longing because it's like, yeah, what does that food do? It reminds me of certain moments in my life that were beautiful or fun or where I was taken care of, or it reminds me of the people that I was with. I'm longing for the deepest, deepest connection to hear my mother's voice, and that whisper will tell me that I'm safe and everything's perfect. And I'm longing for that amazing Chinese food. I'm probably longing for about 10 trillion things in between those two things. But I just figured I'd come up with the most intense one and the most eye-rolling, whatever one. How about you?
Well, I'm creating an acronym right now. This is what I do.
I'm so excited to be in your incubator now.
This is what happens. So I'll like be in a group and someone will say a word and then I write it down. I'm like, there's something here. So I'm working it out right now. So for the womb, wisdom of my becoming. So in the womb, we are becoming. It's the wisdom of our becoming. So we're always in a becoming. We're always fresh and new. We can't go back. We can only be here now. And when we were in the womb, we were being present, fully present, and we were in the wisdom of that becoming. We were obviously being supported by so many things. However, guess what? Still being supported by all of nature. Right now, we're in a room. We're being supported by oxygen. We're being supported by each other's energy. We're being supported by whatever we ate, whatever we drank, however much sleep we received last night. We are in a larger womb of the universe at this moment. So, can we accept that the womb has changed? So instead of longing, okay, there's nothing wrong with longing. I'm not saying don't long. I'm just saying, remember, why did I start with getting into the heart? Because the womb is here. It's within you. And if
She's putting her hands in front of her heart for those of you who don't have telepathic vision.
Yeah. So the womb is here within your own being. And the only way for you to truly come home to yourself is to be in that wisdom of my becoming in the womb of you.
Love it.
And so,
wisdom of my becoming.
There you go. So that was just coming through as you were talking. I love the Chinese food because it's like, okay, look at what is your longing? What is inside of that? What is it that you're desiring? Usually we want happiness. That's what usually most people want, to feel better. They want to be happy. And they think it exists in some experience or some person, right? Which maybe not on that. That creates a lot of unhappiness.
Isn't that one of your lemonade cards?
It is.
Maybe not.
It is. So if you have an idea that some dinner or some person or some experience is going to create happiness, that's a trap. Just FYI, a lot of expectation right there.
Yeah, well, I don't know whether longing for that because you asked me, what am I longing for? Or whether I'm longing for that and it was always like resting beneath the surface and I am actually always longing for that. And really, it's not the Chinese food. It's the fact that
it's a ritual.
It was a ritual with my mom.
Yeah, it makes you feel connected to her. I love that.
Right, yeah.
I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
But there was something you said. You said, I'm not getting the respect I want. You weren't talking about yourself. You were using it as an example. Okay, I want to talk about that because this is connected to why we don't feel unconditional love.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So in the womb, apparently we had, all of those things taken care of us. By the way, still kind of happening. Just got to remember that. We're all still here, right? Still here. So everything's being taken care of us. Our bodies are working. They're doing their thing. Yeah, things break down, et cetera, et cetera. But, that is just what it is. So when we have this thought, I'm not getting the respect I want. It's an interpretation, right? It's an assumption, probably. Let's just play a game for a second here.
Yeah.
You think that thought about somebody. How does that make you feel?
Well, it's an unloving.
Unloving doesn't make you feel unconditionally loved by that person.
Absolutely not.
Right. So you're creating a feeling of unlove when you
I'm creating the whole construct of it.
Right. This person obviously must have done something, right? They did something that made you feel disrespected. I'm not getting the respect that I want. Okay. So if you didn't think that thought,
I wasn't actually having that thought. I was.
Okay.
I just came up with that as an example.
I know.
I was having a conversation with someone about that.
Okay, so I can make this not about you if you will.
No, you can make it about me. I'm sure there are times where I feel I need more attention, and I can translate that into respect at that time.
What are you protecting when you say that thing? What are you protecting yourself? If you weren't to say, I'm not getting the respect I want, I'm not gonna deal with that. Forget that. What are you protecting? If you were just to be like, oh, it's fine. There's something we're protecting in our hearts when we do that. But
Well, don't we all want to be interacted with in a civil way?
absolutely. But that actually might not be happening. You're the one that created the thought, I'm not getting the respect that I want.
In a kind way?
Absolutely. But are you being kind to yourself? Are you being kind to yourself when you're saying, I'm not getting the respect I want? Because who's feeling the feeling of I'm not getting the respect I want? Who's feeling it? You or the other person? You.
Yeah, and it could be intentional. I'm going to treat this person like crap. I'm not going to give them their props. I'm not going to afford them the care that I give to everyone else. Like, imagine if I said, oh, Francesca, can I get something for you? Matteo, can I get something for you?
But we need to
And then
introduce Francesca. People are like, what are you talking about? Hello.
These are people in our podcast room with us. But then I would look at you, Elizabeth, and I wouldn't say that. So at a certain point, you might not take it personally, but just having awareness, you'd say, And then if I did it again, oh, I'm going to go out to get some food. Would you like me to get some food for you, Matteo? Francesca, would you like some food? And then I didn't say it to you. At a certain point, it is personal. At a certain point, it's like, why aren't you asking me if I would like some food?
Absolutely. Great question for a person to ask. But I will tell you, I deal all day with this. And that's not what people do. And people end up poisoning themselves.
One of the things that I've learned from Elizabeth, this is really a very, very important component, is that we can meet these moments when we're not feeling seamless. These moments where there's a little internal interruption, let's just call it that. What's your line about activation? Every activation's an invitation. And Elizabeth has really taught over the years, and taught me a lot, that when we find ourselves even having the thought, I'm not being treated like I want to be treated or like I should be treated, the solution to that is asking a question.
Absolutely. Now, and many of us don't know that. So I'm glad you're bringing that up. When you said, oh, I'm noticing you're asking them, you're not asking me, something going on there, like check it out. But try not to load that with a bunch of assumptions.
Oh, right. If you were from Queens or from New York, you would definitely passively aggressively say, oh, I don't have a stomach. I don't have needs. Presenting that in that way, as opposed to asking the question, why didn't you ask me?
I'm wondering, I'm just noticing.
Do I look so full that you skip that on me? And if you're feeling overweight, then you would take that very, very personally. Oh, looking at the fat guy in the room. And of course, you wouldn't ask me.
Okay, so I just wanted to go into that, and we'll go into this more in another episode, because this is like breaking down how we communicate and how we poison ourselves. But one other thing I want to talk about with this, because we're really trying to access that unconditional love. The longing of the fantasy.
Are we trying to access it, or are we trying to reawaken it? I would like the unconditional love that I think I had when I was in the womb.
Well, you still have it. It's in the wisdom of my becoming.
Or I think where I was when I was 5 years old having Chinese food with my mom.
Right, but if you stay stuck there, you'll never get there, because you're not in the present moment. If you're in the past or the future, you're not here where you can only access that, right? So,
I
fantasy.
think here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fly to San Francisco.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm going to bring a picture of my mom, and I'm just going to sit there. I'm going to do this on a Sunday. And, it's only...
Can I come?
Yeah, absolutely. It's only a 2-hour trip. And I'm going to fly there, just take an Uber from SFO right to this Chinese restaurant where I had my last
There's a really good one in LA.
Chinese meal.
We can go anytime.
What?
I don't remember the name. Ying Chap.
Uh-huh. All right. Well, that's...
Shout out.
Actually, it would take me as long to fly to San Francisco as it would be to
that's so true.
Try to LA. Just for those of you, LA is only 115 miles from where we are right now, but that has taken me at times 3 hours to get there. And I could actually just fly to San Francisco in under 2 hours, but I have to get to the airport an hour before. So I don't know. But yes, I'm happy to invite you when I do make that trip.
Okay. Well, I want to go back to fantasy. So I'll tell a quick story. When you were talking about longing earlier, I wrote down fantasy because I had a client recently who's in a relationship, blending families, all this sort of thing. And she had this memory of when she was little that she would have a fantasy of what a perfect family would look like. And when she would have kids and what it would be like. And that would get her through her sometimes in her childhood. And she would fantasize about that. And she would get in bed and think about it and all of that. And what we realized in this session was that holding on to that is actually preventing her ability to be in what she's experiencing now, which is a real life, messy with kids and combining families and all that sort of stuff, and how that goes and how messy that is and how you're juggling and things are falling down. And I always say we're learning how to walk, and when a baby's learning how to walk, we're so kind and loving, but like we're always learning how to walk. And when you're learning how to walk with children, it's messy and it's hard and we screw up and we do things our parents did that we said we would never do. And so this fantasy that she was finding herself reminiscing on, I'm like, I think it's time to let that go, because I think that that's what's holding you back from allowing yourself to fully be like, oh, wait, this is it. This is actually the family that I have. And what do I want to bring? Maybe from the fantasy, there was some love or some this or that or kindness that she was wanting or desiring. How can I bring that to all the craziness that I'm experiencing now? And so you can use the longing, but if you live in that longing, you can't be present. You can't access that love. You can't access what you are here to create.
Yeah, it almost seems like the answer to every single question, and maybe this is because we're meditators and meditation teachers, the answer to every question is if you can just get back to the present moment where you don't have to do anything. It's actually the past and the future that pull you. If you do nothing, you will be in the present moment, and in the present moment, which is pure and perfect, and you're whole there is no fear and there is no longing. The moment you long, past or future, you're no longer in the present.
Yeah. Yoga style Kuru Kurmani. Yeah. Get present and then take action. It's always about this. So don't make longing a problem. It's actually showing you something that you desire. It's showing you an energy that matters to you. At the end of your life, you can thank yourself for paying attention to what that energy was. What's today's takeaway?
Today's takeaway is that it's so normal, if you're a human, to long to feel. It's normal. It's part of humankind to long to return to the memory of our wholeness. So it's natural and it's normal. However, once we can really break it down and understand, we've spent a long time listening to that sacred drumbeat of our mother's heart, 9 months. And at the same time, it was like an all-included resort. Everything was taken care of. And then suddenly, that ended. So it would be natural for us to long for some of those accoutrements. At least I don't have to search for food. I don't have to search for warmth. I don't have to search for comfort. All those things were taken care of. But here we are. It's been a while since that moment. When you find yourself longing, there's no shame in that. There's no guilt in that. There's no judgment in it. When you find yourself longing, how about you say to yourself, that was a really, really sweet and beautiful moment. Make a little blessing on it and just let it go. And allow those little signposts in your life to be these blessings, because every one of us has these longings. And we shouldn't dismiss them and we shouldn't push them down, but we need to recognize that if you're longing for the past or the future, you're not in the present. And the present is where all the magic happens. So if you feel disempowered or, oh, I wish I was in the past because that was so much better, here we are in this sacred, precious present moment. Get busy. As Elizabeth said, chapter 2, verse 48 of the Bhagavad Gita, Yogastha Kuru Karmani, establish yourself in the present moment and then perform action. That's it. That's the secret. And in the present moment, we get to make all the conscious choices. In the present moment, we get to do all the amazing things. And so that's today's takeaway. Any final words, Elizabeth?
I love what you said. I think using this acronym, because, now I have a new acronym. If you want to be back in that wholeness, be in the wisdom of your becoming. It's the wisdom of my becoming. So what does that mean? That is what the present moment is allowing you to be just as you are and to become something fresh and new. And in that, there's love there. That's the unconditional loving energy. And if it's not unconditional loving, it is in the present moment. You're only being hard on yourself and judging yourself if you're not present and you're in your head. That's not present. And there's ways to learn how to do that. Meditation helps. So allow yourself to be in the freshness and newness of your becoming.
Yes. And remember, the womb
is the wisdom of my becoming.
So powerful. From the sweet spot of the universe, this is the Shadow and the Light podcast. And yes, we have special guest in the room, Francesca, and we have our engineer extraordinaire, Matteo Schmidt, on the board. And my name is davidji. I'm here with Elizabeth Winkler. Who are we missing? Who am I longing for? Oh yeah, Jamar. Come on, Jamar. Take us home.
I will not be afraid of the shadows in the dark. They will lead the way to the hidden pathways of the heart. In that secret place, that is where I find my star.